Happy Valentine's Day, my beauties! This tutorial is for a sweet look that is perfect for a date or a night with friends. Let's get started! The first thing you are going to need to do is to plug in your set of hot rollers. If you don't have hot rollers, a curling iron is fine, but it'll take you much longer. Next, you want to brush out your hair. I'm using a brush that I purchased from a houseware resale store. It is vintage, but don't worry, it's been sanitized. You want to brush out your hair and remove all the tangles because new curls will not form if there are too many tangles in your hair. So tame that mane. And it's best not to use extra products like detanglers in this step. Be as thorough as possible, brush out everything and go over it more than once to make sure. Now you're going to want to add in a heat protectant. I am using Not Your Mother's Lackluster oil treatment, which doubles as a heat protectant. When applying this to your hair, you want to focus on the lower half and the ends. If you put too much on the top, it will weigh down your style and kill the volume. This will help prevent split ends and severe heat damage, so it is a very important step. Don't skip it! Now is the part we wanted to get to. Section off your hair. I am splitting it into two, and I am sectioning it on the other side from the bottom to the top. Section it whatever way you feel free. It is just easiest for me to go from bottom to top when sectioning my hair. And there's the section I have pulled out. You can go ahead and ponytail the rest of it or however else you want to secure it. I just so happen to have an abundance of hair ties, so that is what I'm using. You are going to want to prepare your curlers, get out your clips, and be ready. Okay, to roll, you're going to of course need to start out with whatever size curler you would like, and don't let your ponytails fall, that too. And take your section of hair, put it atop the roller, roll the bottom half around it like that, and then roll upwards to your scalp. Now, situate your clip so it will stay put. And there it is. Once I get my hair under control, I'm going to show you how to do that one more time before I go finish all of my rollers in the bathroom where there's a much better mirror than my computer. So if you get angry at one, it doesn't turn out how you want to, take it down, put the e-roller back so it can heat up again, get a new one, brush it out, and do it again. And there's how you set your rollers. I'm going to be rolling all of them under the exact same way. And I finished them all. Like I said, I had to go to the bathroom to finish them all in the mirror because my computer just really wasn't good enough. Now we are going to give them a spritz all around with some hairspray. I'm using Dove Style Plus Care Flexible Hold Hairspray. I do really like this hairspray. So all around your head, make sure you get all your rollers, go over them a second time if you want. Now we're going to start on the makeup while we're waiting for our hair to set. I am going to be using the L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifying BB Cream as my base, and I'm going to be applying it with a damp foundation brush. Why damp? Well, it gives a more airbrushed finish and the makeup tends to apply much smoother when using a damp brush. Much the same as you would want to dampen a beauty blender or a sponge before putting it on. I am going to put it on my face in small downward patting strokes. This BB cream starts out white and adjusts to the color of your skin, which I think is really great because some of my other makeups can end up being a little bit too yellow or a little bit too orange because they don't have an adjusting shade or a shade that accommodates a lot of undertones. I find this BB cream to have a pretty good coverage. I would say it is a medium to full coverage depending on what you have to cover up and how you apply it. It is mostly buildable, so for a BB cream that is really great. Tuck in any loose hair. And as you can see, I'm dotting on the sides of my nose because those are areas that I don't normally go over with foundation because I just don't normally reach them, so I'm paying extra attention to them this time. And I love BB creams for this look because they are so light and so fresh looking. Now we are going to put on a concealer to our under eyes, and we are really gonna wake ourselves up. I'm dotting this on my under eye, sort of on the bone around my eye, so that way I can make sure that I have it in a position where I can blend it down well onto my cheek, and this will conceal much better than if I had applied it strictly onto my under eyes. You can see the brightening effect of the concealer just when I have one eye done. I'm sorry my middle finger was my finger of choice to blend in my concealer, but I feel like the rest of my fingers are either too strong or too wimpy for this job, so I went with that one. Now we are going to seal everything we just did in with a powder, and I am using a Clinique translucent powder and a really cool adjustable kabuki brush that I got for pretty cheap at Walmart. And it's super fluffy, and that's why I love this one, especially for applying powders. I made sure to go over my eye area to seal the concealer, and now I'm lightly buffing all around my face. I'm not using very much pressure at all. And we're done. Now we're going to move on to doing the cheeks, and I'm starting off with an Estee Lauder highlighter that is in the compact I have been using. I'm going to be applying this the exact same way you would be applying a blush, because when we layer the blush over this highlighter, it just adds luminescence and depth to the cheeks. Now we're going to apply the second layer, which is the blush. It is the Physicians Formula Mineral Glow Pearls in Natural Glow. I love this blush especially because instead of just being one flat color, it is many colors in one pan, and I love how when you pat them all onto your brush, it gives added depth, and I love also how luminous this blush is. Physicians Formula does an incredible job. We're going to fill in our brows now using the Revlon Color Stay Eyeliner in Cocoa. If you have a brow pencil, use that, or if you just have eyeshadow, that's okay too. We're going to be putting this, obviously, in the eyebrow. You want to match your color to your hair as much as you possibly can. And when I am applying, I am using short hair-like strokes, and I am putting extra in sparse areas. Normally I fill in with a pencil and powder, but I feel like the pencil is so much more natural than both. And filling in your eyebrows really makes a huge difference. If you have the extra time to really pay attention to them and really do this in detail, it's really worth it. I am filling in with a more straight shape than I usually do because my eyebrows are usually more arched, and it gives it a more youthful look. Now I'm going to prime my eyelids for my eyeshadow. Any primer is fine. If you don't have a primer, you can of course use foundation. Now I'm going to just blend it in with my fingers really quickly. This step is just to make sure that the eyeshadow keeps its color and stays put. We're going to do a matte eye using this e.l.f. palette, and we're going to start off with the lightest shade. This shade we are going to apply all over the lid. And with this shade, you are going to want to put on as much as you want to get the color you want. So you can do multiple layers if you desire. So you can have a color that's more or less intense than what I am doing. I tend to like it pretty intense, and that's just mainly so you can see it on camera. Now we're going to pick up the very darkest shade in the palette, and we're going to put it on our eyes as if we are doing a super thick, very unwieldy winged liner. And it's another way to put it is that we are filling in the outer V of our eye, but only on the bottom. And you may as well darken this as much as you please. And that's hideous because we haven't blended yet, so here we go, a blending. This gives a really pretty gradient towards the outside of the eye where winged liner would normally be, but we are not doing winged liner because that is too harsh for this look. Now we're going to curl and do mascara. This is my very well worn Maybelline The Rocket Mascara. And we are going to curl. Any curling device is fine. You can use whatever brand you like. I so happen to have an e.l.f. curler. And you can see I rotated into the back of my eye, and that's really not painful. It just looks that way, but it's not, I promise. Now we're going to apply mascara to top and bottom lashes. And I'm doing this eye all at once because I don't want to lose its curl while I am curling the other eyelashes. So doing them one at a time can seal the curl in. And you can see the difference between two eyes. Mascara and curling makes a lot of difference with how thick your eyelashes look and how open your eyes are. Excuse me. Gotta find a way that I'm not blocking it. So we're doing the same thing to the other eye. Applying mascara to the top and bottom lashes. We are including the bottom lashes because it gives a very sweet, doll-like look. Eyes are done. Now we are going to finish off the makeup with a Revlon lip gloss in the color Strawberry. It is a fairly bright, deep pink, and we are going to be applying it to the inner part of our lips only. And then we're going to, roll our lips together to sort of force it outwards a little bit. And I'm touching up in places where there's absolutely no color at all because I don't want the outside to be completely colorless. And I'm adding more on the inside of my lip. Adjust until you're happy. Now we are finally going to take our hair down. So we're going to take the clips out, and I'm going to, in a very classy way, open the bag where I keep my clips. So make sure you put them away. You really don't want to lose these and have to pay the company for more. And then unroll them just like that, kind of slowly. And here we go, taking it all down. So I feel it's easy to take them down from bottom to top, just like I sectioned it. And if you find a curl that you're really not entirely happy with, try rolling it around with your fingers. Try retwisting it. And if you very, very, very much so do not like it, I advise pulling it up like a pin curl and giving a little spritz of hairspray like I just did right here. It helps a lot. Now, don't expect the first time you use hot rollers to be just astoundingly great at it. Before I made this tutorial, I had practiced with these for about a week, and I did it about every other day. So it was really hard for me to really perfect what I was doing with them. And it's just like with any other, hair or any other kind of appliance, you have to kind of take the time to learn how to use them. Which is why when you first buy them and you really, really, really want to use them and you really want to wear it to school or to work, I advise you give yourself a lot of extra time. So that way if you have anything you are really unhappy with, you can reset them with the rollers, or you can plug in your curling iron and touch up that way. And taking down the bangs is going to be the most exciting part. I use 2 separate rollers for my bangs because they're so long, and I have the sheer volume is just so much. As you can see, I have plenty of volume at the roots. My hair has plenty of lift. It's really shiny. The curls are gorgeous. And I'm just kind of separating them out now and combing them through with my fingers. If you wanted a more vintage wave look, you would do this with a really soft brush, but I feel like the fingers are doing just fine because I want more volume and wave at the top and more curl towards the bottom. So just fiddle with it and play with it until you are really happy with it. And then once you're done with all that, give it a really good spraying with hairspray. Now I am smoothing out the top of my hair with a soft bristled brush, the one I was using earlier. This just tames down the frizz. Now we're going to complete it with some hair clips. This is optional. I just happen to have these really cute coral rose clips that I got from a julep box, and I'm adding them as a finishing touch. And the look is complete. I hope you love this tutorial.